Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Hi, everyone.
It's us again, another Transformer review. And these are little segments that we do every now and then, called Then and Now or Now and Then, however we want to phrase it. But it's just a comparison of the original G1 Transformer from back then to where we are today. And today we're going to be taking a look at this Transformer right here. And this is the original, what year?
1986.
Blurr. This is the 1986 Blurr. And the reason why I know that is because I had to have Colton tell me what the numbers were on it, just to make sure.
What year this Blurr came out in?
Right.
Because obviously this is the original Blurr.
That's right, 1986 Blurr. The one who got all the rest of the Blurs involved to where we are today.
And this Blurr here was voiced by the Micro Machines guy from the Micro Machines commercials, because that guy talked really fast, and so did Blurr, because Blurr here, like I said, was voiced by the Micro Machines guy.
And he is right. He is correct when he says that it was the Micro Machine guy who did the voice of this guy, of Blurr, and Transformers the cartoon, the movie, I'm sorry.
The 1986 movie.
Right, the 1986.
And also in season 3, and I don't know if he was in season 4. Was he in?
I couldn't tell you that. I do not know. I do not know, because some of the voices later on after the movie did change. I know this for sure. He was in Transformers the movie, 1986 movie.
And also in season 3 of Transformers G1.
Because this guy could talk really fast. And maybe that's the reason why they got him to voice Blurr, because Blurr is a very fast person with basically whatever he does. So anyway, we are going to take a look at this 1986 original Blurr, and we'll go from there. Alright, we'll see y'all here in a minute.
And let's head to the table.
Hey, and here we are, the review of the 1986
Yes.
Blurr. The one who started all the rest of the Blurs after this one original Blurr. Go ahead, Colton, take it away.
So here we have Blurr in his what is called a Cybertronian.
I think race car. I think that's the best way I can describe him. I think he's a Cybertronian race car. It's kind of like race car speedster.
I would think so. It is.
Because you got to remember, in the toy line of the G1 and stuff like that, they were all Earth vehicles. Now, since Transformers the movie come out, they did away with them, and then they replaced those cars with these type of Transformers, which was ultimately to sell these line of Transformers. So this is Blurr 1986 original. That's not a makeup. That's not a reissue. I had Colton back check the numbers just to make sure, because the numbers are very hard to see, but they're there, and they say 1986. And I remember this too because it was one of our toys from our childhood. My childhood. Anyway, go ahead.
That's what I was about to say too. This is the original Blurr, not the reissue one or any of the newer Blurs which look like this. This is the original one because you can tell by some of the weather on it because of age, and also the weather on the Autobot symbol here. But he still does have his rub symbol, which...
Yeah, I tried to get it to work earlier. I could not. Now, maybe you can. But it's there. Shine it up to the light. Let's see. We shall see. See, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
You can see it right there.
It still works after all these years. Yep, it's going from blue now to green. Let's see. There, right there.
They can see it.
I didn't think it worked. Huh. Well, okay. After all these years, it still works. And if you see some of this on the windshield, that's not original. That was something that was put on there. I know what it is. We had some glow-in-the-dark stickers, and we put them on this guy right here in a couple places, and that was some of the residue left over from the glow-in-the-dark stickers from years and decades ago. And it's just a permanent factor of the windshield now.
So this was a glow-in-the-dark sticker
that we put on. It originally did not have that on there. Yeah, that's why I know exactly what that is. And I want to... I don't remember...
Oh, and he came with a gun that I think you would store on this hull here.
Yes.
But we don't have it.
Right, and that's very true. That is true.
And here's the side view.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side here.
Mm-hmm. Blurr was very fast at whatever he did, be it running, grabbing something, shooting, and talking very fast, to where it could get very obnoxious. So, and he would be running over there to Ultra Magnus and then Ultra Magnus would say, "Slow down. What are you talking about?" Because the Micro Man, he did an excellent job voicing this character because he could talk really fast.
And on the bottom, he does have 4 little black wheels on the bottom here. Mm-hmm. That helps him roll really well. And oh, my only problem with him in vehicle mode is that you can barely see his face right there. Because, yes, this blue part here where this blue fin piece attaches to, that's where his robot mode head is. And you can barely see it. Because I wish that they would collapse it in more to cover up this little gap. So that you don't have to like see his face right there. But that's really my only problem with it. But everything else about the vehicle mode looks really good.
Yes, he's two-tone blue, actually three-tone. He's got about 4 tones on him. Gray, dark, light blue, and then a turquoise, and then gray.
Yes, he does have different colors of blue on him, like a lighter blue, a turquoise blue, and a normal blue on him, which you can see all around.
So, anybody who's seen the 1980s Transformers movie,
The 1986 Transformers the movie.
Yes, and then y'all know what I'm talking about, because like I said, this was one of the hot selling commodity items right after the show. And then some of them started showing up before the show. I'm not going to mention where I seen them at, but you know, they did start pumping out the toys even before the show was released, and that was by accident. But anyway, so we were kind of in disbelief, like, who is this person? We don't know anything about him. You know, we're so used to the G1 Earth vehicles. What is this guy and why is he an Autobot? But you'd have to watch the cartoon to understand, and then that's where they fall in. So anyway, we're going to get on to the transformation of 1980s G1.
1986 G1 Blurr.
Yes, 1986 G1 Blurr, and I don't know if they made another one in the 90s or a little bit after that. I'm not sure. I know that this is 1986 Blurr. So I'm going to quit blurring on. Alright, go ahead and transform him.
Okay. To start off the transformation, you're gonna take the front part here of the vehicle and remove it, and you're gonna set this off to the side.
That will come into play later on.
Right. And this will come into play later on. Come to the bottom here and take these things here where the wheels are attached to and untap them and bring them all the way around. And you do want to take these things here, which will become his knees, and straighten them out. And on the bottom, you're going to flip out his feet.
I'm surprised that them ratchets are still working as good as what they are in the legs. That still surprises me, but they do.
Now you're going to take these things here and slide them down. And you do want to take these things, slide these out, and bring these around to reveal his hands. Now you're going to take the back part here and bring it all the way down, which will help you to flip up his head. And then you just want to bring this all the way back down so it looks like that. And you're done.
His transformation is not really that difficult. It actually is pretty simplistic. Go ahead and get a shot of his head sculpt. Let's look at his head. There we go. That's what the original Blurr looks like as far as the head sculpt. And that's what we had in the 1980s.
And he still has the same blue plastic on him. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of different types of blue plastic on him. And he does have some, like, purple feet on.
No, well, they're originally blue. They just faded over time to where now it's got a little purplish tint to them.
Oh.
They were originally blue, like the blue of his head right here. Like the blue of his head right here. But over time, the blue down there on his feet have kind of
faded.
Turned a little. Not much, but you can tell it's not.
And also his hands here.
Yeah, his hands turned a little. Yes. As far as any bends at the arms or anything, nope, you ain't gonna get that. Not with G1. Like an elbow, nope, that didn't happen. Now, they could swivel all. Whoops. They could turn all the way around, but that's about as much as you're going to get out of it.
But he does have knee joints, which are on ratchets, yes. And they still do work.
Yeah, and they still sound crisp. That one doesn't. Yeah.
But this one. Oh.
Well, as far as going back, it's just.
Well, it kind of works a little bit.
And let's see here. If I'm right. Let me see.
Yes.
That's metal. Is it?
His legs are made out of die-cast metal. And I think that's the only metal he has on him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because I can feel the rest of him is like made out of plastic.
Yeah, sounds about right. He's fixing to bring in what we told you come and factor into it. The front part of his car.
That you can have him hold it as a shield.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had his gun, you could also have him hold it in both of his hands, but we don't have it.
Yep, don't have it. This takes me back because I remember having this when I was a child, a kid, you know,
But
a long time ago, and I remember having him, and we would play with him. But anyway, you know, along with a bunch of others.
but we do have some size comparisons to do here.
Yes, we do. We have a size comparison from this was back then to where we are today.
And the one that I'm bringing in is the SXS Blurr by Third Party, which is their take on, I am gonna say, an IDW accurate blur, cause I have seen some videos of if this is like an IDW accurate blur, and it is kinda, but this kind of blur, it does also have a mixture of the G1 blur. But I am like waiting to see if Mastermind Creations or maybe Planet X is gonna make an actual IDW blur. But for now, this is all we have for now.
So we're going to zoom in on the head on both of them side by side. We're just going to take a closer look from the G1 till today.
Here's the G1 and here's the SXS version. As you can see here on the SXS version, this is the G1 blur head, but it does have a little bit of mixture of IDW blur because of those fin things on the sides of his head here. Because Blurr in the IDW comics did have those fin things on the sides of his head.
Where my G1 don't have any of that. He's just got a square block head with some type of something on top of his head. So go ahead and zoom in some more. We'll take a look at both of them. Zoom in. That's good. Right there. There we go. So you can see where they kind of got the color paint, color scheme and stuff like that. I mean, this is the original right here. No doubt. This is the original. And then they just kind of took some of these colors, but you know, this is today's time color. So they did the best that they could back then with this guy. And over the time, this is where we're at now.
And there's also the Titans Return Blur, which I think we've
misplaced it. I think we misplaced it. So,
but have we also reviewed it on my channel? Did you?
Yeah, I think so. I would have to look back. It's been a while. It's been a while. So, like I said, the way sometimes I like to reference this, and especially if I can find a original G1, then I try and do a comparison with this from back then and now, because I'm trying to see and show y'all where they got the original parts and the way it looks to today, from yesterday to today, of where we're at. Because one thing, it's very important to understand the past to get to where you're going to the future. So therefore, understanding the past, you more understand of where they're going with the way that the model is, the way it looks, and why it's shaped the way it's shaped. They took some cues off of this one. Not much. And then, you know, this is just today's version of a total redesign of this guy.
And we also have another size comparison to do.
Oh, I'm not going to do... Okay, put him in there. Alright, I for another review. Okay. Yeah, okay, we're going to do that. And there goes his gun. There goes his gun. Well, let me... Okay. Alright. Y'all know who this is. This is my favorite guy. This is the one who...
Ultra Magnus.
That I
G1.
think me and his characteristics are more the same than anybody else. But anyway, this right here, back then, once they killed off Optimus Prime and brought in a whole new cast of people, these were some of the people that they brought in. And still, Ultra Magnus is tallest than Blurr and other ones. So at that time, Ultra Magnus was the commander over, you know, these little guys. But there was one time where Ultra Magnus was talking to him, and Blurr was like right here, and Ultra Magnus said, "Hey, slow down. I can't understand you. What are you talking about?" It's there. It says, "Blurr, what are you talking about?"
In the G1 cartoon.
Yes, but this was after Transformers the movie, in one of them episodes that followed after Transformers the movie in 1980s. You know, that's when Ultra Magnus is like, "What are you talking about, Blurr? You've got to slow down." And so anyway, I just thought that was pretty neat in the scope of things, and I just had to, as much as this helped me relive some of my past, I had to go ahead and bring him out too, because there's a correlation there to show y'all some of the original G1s that we did have, and from the 1980s that we still have today. But this is one of them. And that's one of them. And I think that we still have a couple more that are not originally reissues. They're original G1s. But with these G1s, you have to be very careful, because they have age and time on them now when you go to transform them.
Right. So now...
Yeah, I'll take my brick. See, his foot already fell off. That's a pin that's broke. I know what it is.
Let's get Ultra Magnus off to the side.
Alrighty.
So we can get to the final thoughts.
Yes. And my scaling from 1 to 10, I guess.
Okay.
Did you enjoy this, Colton? Did you? What do you think about our G1 Blurr that come from the 1980s? Not Michael Bay, not nothing else.
Blurr did not appear in the Michael Bay movies.
I know. I'm just saying, this is the real deal. For the time, he had an interesting transformation, because we were so used to the Earth vehicle modes. And then all of a sudden this comes out, and it's like, what is that, a space shuttle, a rocket? What is that?
It's supposed to be a Cybertronian vehicle mode.
Right.
The only difference is that this one in the 1986 movie, this guy would like hover in thin air.
Yeah, he had rocket boosters. That's what these are right here. These are like, he's like a speed demon race car. You can see how that's already cracked because of time.
But that one's still intact.
Right.
But this one, not so.
Yeah, because
much.
it's just old. It ain't meant to be played with anymore. It's meant to be just transformed and left alone. They're old grandpas. No. So, I like him. I do think out of the new toy line that came up after G1 Transformers, after the movie, his appearance to me didn't really appeal. You know, I'm used to the Ultra Magnus or the Springer. You know, him, I give him a 6. You know, I like him, but I'm not in love with him. You know, I'm not. He's not my brick Ultra Magnus. That's what I'm trying to say. And I love my G1 Ultra Magnus. So I give him about a 6. His transformation is different for the time, but he still has good ratchet joints in his legs. That is a homage to the design and build to where we're at today, because that's got some wear and tear and some age on it. So that's where I stand with him. I'm alright with him, but he's not one of my main two go-to guys.
My final thoughts with this figure, but both his robot mode and his vehicle mode, they both still do look great for their time, and I think they still do today. But my only problem with him is that in vehicle mode, you can clearly see his head peeking out on the back. Because I wish that they would do some to close up that little gap. So you don't have to see his face peeking out for a little bit. But the rest of him still does look great for its time and today.
And I think, y'all, that is about it for this G1 Springer original.
You said Springer. This is Blurr.
Thank you. He's right. He's right. Welcome and thank you Colton, for straightening me up. See, that's one thing I like about it. See, when I mess up, he's real quick to call me in on it, and that's good, because I just didn't. Anyway, I must need to be good in a nap or something. I'm blurring in my words, but anyway, okay. This is the review of the G1 Blurr. 1986.
Yes.
And thanks for watching. I'm going to let Colton wrap us on out of here. Y'all take care.
And if you like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel for any videos you may have missed. So, I think that's about it. So, thanks for watching.